So 2020 was a rocky year, I have to give you that, not only because of, well, the obvious, but also in terms of our beloved platform, Instagram. So where does this whole thing lead us? What's gonna happen in 2021 and this whole fresh new year? Let's take a look at some predictions that I have made, not only observing the whole industry, kind of being in the industry with my social media marketing agency, with my Instagram focused marketing agency, with I don't even know how many clients we have, 50 more or something like this. And just to give you a spoiler alert right here, I think it's far from done. In fact, I actually think we're still at the kind of the starting points of something bigger that we have not imagined before. But let's roll this thing up from the beginning, my friends. Welcome back, Dominators, friends, and people who are not subscribed. Yes, I'm talking to you. I see it in my stats. In fact, I actually have a small experiment going on. All the people who are subscribed to this channel right here, I'm hitting them up with some retargeting ads here on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. Only my subscribers are being retargeted with an ad that's gonna give them access to my upcoming Instagram Black File 2.0 totally for free before it drops to the public. So, you have to kind of hit the subscribe button right now. But anyway, let's get going. A few weeks ago, our old friend, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talked about his personal plans for 2021 and his professional plans, talking about Instagram, what they have planned for 2021, and he did not really say a lot. He always talks about these things on IGTV, so there's kind of a time constraint on this one. But basically he said 2020 was kind of a year of change. 2020 was kind of a year where they implemented a lot of new features. The home screen being totally changed, IGTV ads right around the corner, Reels and stuff like this. So they threw out a bunch of stuff, and he said that 2021 is gonna be a year of actually delivering on those promises. What does that mean? Basically, this is how Instagram always worked, and this is what I kind of value from them. They're always testing out a bunch of stuff. They're always having some subsets of tests with a smaller audience. Some people have different features. Some people, remember back in the days where there was a 4-image grid for a couple of people? Yeah, expect something like this to happen a lot more, especially with IGTV ads, other ads, with the Reels and with this whole shopping tab, because they want to fine tune this whole baby, because they're trying to set themselves up for becoming this whole big social media hub where every different aspects of your content are all combined within your Instagram profile. So they're trying their best to actually delivering this whole thing and making it worth your while. With that being said, we know how Instagram also works. There's some mistakes in there sometimes, and don't be alarmed if there's the one or the other engagement drop that's gonna happen for a couple of people. I believe though that is only gonna be for the better for the whole platform, and eventually, talking about if you really grow your audience the right way, which you're learning right here on this channel, by the way. And I believe that we're gonna also see some engagement explosions happen more and more in this year again. They've kind of had problems on Instagram with natural organic engagement in the past years. As of a couple of weeks ago, we've noticed a huge trend in a lot of different aspects. For example, Reels obviously, but also carousel posts, special carousel posts that totally blow up like you've never seen it before. We're gonna talk about it, by the way, really in depth in the upcoming Black File, just to spoil that right here. Waiting list is down below. But basically, I think things like that are gonna happen more and more in the coming year, just because they wanna fine tune and oil this whole system to get out of this kind of negative rut. Like I said, because they're trying to go big, they're trying, like Mosseri said in this year, they're trying to deliver on those promises, deliver on those bets. For example, talking about monetization. My opinion, that's gonna be a huge chapter in this year. Finally, they just have to do it this year. They just have to roll out the direct monetization partner program out this year, because they've been talking about it for quite a while, probably for almost a year at this point already. And here's the thing, you're gonna have to understand that, me myself, knowing that, running a few businesses myself, they're just a small team. You might think, well, Instagram, Facebook, they kind of belong together, and they do, but still the Instagram team is still kind of a small subset of people. I think it's less than 20. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read that somewhere. And knowing myself, running businesses, I know that everything just takes a whole lot more time than people might think. And let me tell you why I think this whole thing has been taking so long, why this whole monetization the process has not been finished yet. You know, the partner, you being able to sign up with the partner program. Behind the scenes, obviously, there's a lot of rights management going on, especially talking and negotiating with advertisers, because we've seen what happened here on YouTube, the adpocalypse. Basically, advertisers were like, what kind of content are you showing our ads to? We pay for that. And then just super unfitting, unmatching content is being shown after our ads or with our ads. And this is obviously what Instagram wants to avoid. And they even have way bigger problems that YouTube ever had and probably ever could have, because they have, first of all, a huge spam issue. You know, just a lot of spam and fake bots are lingering on the platform. If they can't fix this whole thing, or at least go in the right direction with this whole thing, they're probably gonna have a hard time, getting advertisers to really trust their system, to say, okay, you have their system, we just give you money, and you're gonna put it out as best as you can. Yeah, obviously this is hard right now with this whole, with the spam problem that they have. We have to name it how it is, and this is why right now only a few hand-picked creators have the ability to run IGTV ads, because they're hand-picked. They know, well, they're not one of those weirdos. They're acting according to what we actually think should happen. And if we read a little bit more between the lines in their newest terms of service update, which I did a couple of very in-depth videos about that. Somewhere up there's a few videos discussing this whole things in depth to see what actually is, what actually has been changed. Hint. Actually not that much, contrary to popular belief. There's something hidden in there, and this shows us that they're tackling this whole spam issue more and more. Basically, they say you can't impersonate others or provide inaccurate information. You don't have to disclose your identity on Instagram, but you must provide us with accurate and up-to-date information, including registration information, which may include providing personal data. We don't really know what that means, but probably, and I've heard it from multiple sources already, that at some point, probably this year, especially when they have a lower trust score, meaning using bots or buying followers or something like this, at some point this year, they're gonna get one of these action blocks or just one of these pop-ups that's gonna say, well, here's the thing, just identify that you're actually a real person, and what are your intentions, just as simple as that. Maybe you're gonna have to upload a picture, a selfie, or maybe they'll even go as far as to send them some ID copy of you, something like this. We're gonna see about that, but that's something that I've heard from multiple sources right now, and this is probably gonna happen to tackle the spam issue. And why? Because they want to go big. Why? Because they want to implement advertising things. Now, these things are not only bad. There's so many negative people towards Instagram lately, and I have to admit that myself, I kind of have gotten myself dragged down at some point. I'm not saying that they're the saints in the whole sphere. They're absolutely not, and there's a lot of things that I disagree with. But isn't it great that creators soon are going to be able to, monetize or directly monetize things on there, so you can start to create money just by yourself, just by creating content? I would say it is. Another indication why they're going after spammers is not only for the European Union laws, but also in some countries and with some profiles that it's not necessarily locked within some certain countries. We figured out that you can't send links anymore in the DMs. Probably another thing to try to figure out with spammers and how, whatever. We're gonna see what that means, but that's, like I said, another indication of what they're actually after this year. So cleaning up the whole slate, trying not a fresh start, but a clean start. Another thing that's actually hidden between what Mosseri says and what's hidden inside your Instagram app, actually, there's a hidden feature that not a lot of, it's not really hidden, but not a lot of people actually talk about that. And I've yet to see some official sources talk about this feature a little bit more, but it's the restriction feature, especially the restriction by age feature. Did you know that you can go in there and you can restrict your account and say, well, my profile is only here for people who are 47 and up. Yeah, you can actually do that. Why? We don't really know, but just reading between the lines and hearing Mosseri and the press team always talk about, creators are important, but also the young people, the teenagers are important. And looking in their terms of service, we can see, well, you have to be at least 13 years of age so that you can use Instagram. So really taking this whole thing together with this whole monetizing thing, because if you take a look at YouTube and them actually talking about YouTube being one of their biggest competitors, another thing that we would have never guessed actually, because it's totally two different things. And with YouTube having had this apocalypse with kids content and other issues with family-friendly content guidelines, this is probably another direction that they're going after. So really think about yourself when you create your content. Can your content actually be shown to a 13-year-old person without anybody else being next to them? And also an 80-year-old person, okay? If you can say, yes, I'm totally okay, my content can be seen by anyone, it's family friendly, well, then you're doing a lot of things right in terms of the algorithm, because the recommendation systems and then subsequently the monetization systems, I'm pretty sure they will, they will favor you. If not, if you're like, well, no, actually not, I'm kind of like a rough person or whatever, like me, also good. I actually encourage that. But still, if you really want to use all of the recommendation systems, all of the boosts that they have available, try to be as advertiser friendly or community guidelines friendly as possible. For example, here on YouTube, I'm 100% sure, now let's just say 99.1% sure, that whenever they're swearing inside videos of mine, actually the ad revenue goes a little bit down. Maybe even the recommendation things. This is my observation, and this is probably gonna be similar to what's gonna be on Instagram. Another quick thing that I've started to notice recently, actually, it seems like it's easier to grow for smaller creators. So they're definitely playing around with recommendation systems a little bit more, making it easier to, for smaller creators to actually blow up or to grow consistently. Also, them actually changing the home screen and having the notification heart at the top somewhere where you would never, where it's really hard to click there, and also them not showing you notifications of new likes and stuff like this as frequently as earlier. I think they're trying to get you away from chasing likes just for getting engagement. They're probably trying to get you down a little bit and make you focus a little bit more on creating content and not really focusing too much on likes anymore, for example, because they're not really important. There's been some studies done that, for example, this is very interesting, in Scandinavian countries, people don't like to like, in general, but they like to comment, for example. In other countries, they don't like to comment, but like. So, just having likes as your sole means of, seeing whether something is good or not, it's just the wrong way to go about things. And lastly, talking about monetization one more time, I feel like this year is going to be a whole lot about monetization and this whole revamping themselves. But when they will launch this monetization thing for a broader scale, be aware that whenever that happens, they're going to start to push IGTV one more time. All right, they tried to push it a few times already. Now it's kind of like the last thing that's on their minds. But once they will roll this out, make sure you are on there. Make sure you're there, ideally with already some pieces of content, so people can dive into that, because there's going to be a whole huge boost on IGTV happening. I'm pretty sure about that. And also, don't think that IGTV is going to be the only thing where you can put up ads. I'm talking about other features. For example, guides would be a perfect way to have some ads in there for great guide content. Also, with the search feature coming this year on a broader scale, probably that might be a good bet. Also, obviously Reels. They're probably gonna focus a whole lot on Reels and pushing Reels further. If you remember, what they did with Snapchat, they kind of took their ideas and then they developed them further a little bit, making it, better probably. So we're gonna see, maybe they have some innovations coming up in the Reels department, and I'm sure they will, let you put ads in front of Reels as well once the time is ready. Because, TikTok's been doing that for quite some time right now already. So, well, there's that. Anyway, I'm actually pretty excited to see what's gonna come this year, to see the changes, to see the platform evolving, and actually, don't think about the platform, actually to see you evolving, to see you, turn your passion into profits, for example. And all of these things you're gonna learn here, obviously, on this channel. You're gonna learn how to grow your Instagram accounts, your personal brands, your other brands on social media, and ideally to take whatever you do there and turn your followers, your influence, it's a real income. So, you know, because that's what we all need, especially in times like these when, you know, steady jobs are actually not so steady anymore. So I'll see you guys later. My name is Dominic. Yeah, bye.